This is ArtsAlive. I'm Lynda Philippi. My guest today is Lynette Neeld, and she has the Infused with Love glass studio here in McMinnville. So welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you could come today.
Nice to be here.
And let's talk a little bit about how you got into stained glass.
It's fused glass, which
Fused, okay.
yes, it's a little bit different. But I had moved to the coast about 5 years ago, and when I would take my daughter to school, I kept seeing a shop that was more art, that's down in Taft area of Lincoln City, and so I thought, I think I'm going to start taking classes here. So I went in, and a wonderful, wonderful man that owns the shop. So I went in and started taking classes from him, and so I just found that I really liked it.
Okay, so you just kind of said
Just fell upon it.
Yeah, I have an
Yeah.
affinity for this or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
great.
so Dan and Maurice are the two that own the shop, and so then I lived there for about a year, and so when I moved back here, I thought, there's something to this, that it was a talent that I didn't realize I had, and so then I started going to workshops and went up and took a wonderful class from a glass artist, Richard Lalonde. He lives up in Woodby Island, and he's one of the pioneers of glass fusing, and then also Gil Reynolds, who's up in Newburgh,
Okay.
and he has Fusion headquarters.
Oh.
And so I took classes from him, and I thought, well, I think I want to carry on with this a little more. And so I did some for Shemeketa. They had a glass fusing program in Salem. I don't know if they have it any longer. And some design classes from Jan Coates, which is a wonderful teacher at Shemeketa. Yeah, and just found it was something that was healing and was really an expression of a different way to create. I'd done quilting before and things like that. And I'm a mom of 7 kids, and so I've done, various things with them.
You've done it all.
Yeah, with a lot, and so hit an age, thought, okay, I gotta find my niche here somewhere.
Good for you. Now, fused glass, and that sounds like it involves heat.
Yes, we use kilns.
Okay.
So you can use a lot of the same designs like you would use with stained glass, but once you have your piece done, you put it into a kiln, and there you fuse it together, the glass pieces together. So the thing that's so cool about it is that we take you the sheets of glass. You can do like cold cutting, the big sheets, and we get most of our glass from Bullseye. But from there, they make frits out of it and core down to powders. And so you can take the glass in a powdered form and add a liquid and you can actually paint with it almost. And so it's just fun that it's not quite as limiting as other, like with pottery, limits you a little extent. I mean, the glazes are wonderful and things, but with this, there are artists that do like fine art with it. And so I love that medium of it.
Okay. Well, you know what? I know that you brought some images in. So why don't we take a look at some of your images, and maybe you can kind of talk us through those a little bit and see what you brought. Pictures worth 1,000 words, right?
And this is fun.
Pretty.
This is a piece that is used, like I say, you have the one glass, but you use pulled glass that you will heat up and pull, and then the powder's in it. So you can get an effect, that's kind of an oriental effect.
Okay.
Put on this.
And you do classes as well, right?
Yes. And then this also is one where you can use a saw where it was used. And I lived down at Salishan for a while, and that was the tree that just kind of inspired me when I was down there.
Of course.
So it's using the different forms of glass in between it and the frits and things you can see you highlight with and can do different forms with. And this was one that inspired me. These are my 7 children. They're the hearts that are just kind of being blown off into the different directions. Yeah, I have really amazing children, and they each have their own special personalities. And with doing that also, it's just taking the different forms of glass, and then once you have them all on, you just, melt them into the piece.
Okay, so obviously you have to cut with like a fine little tool.
Yes, this I used a saw. You actually have a glass saw that you can use after you make your pattern.
It's a smaller saw than what I'm envisioning.
It's pretty good sized,
Is
it?
it?
And it has the diamond anytime you do, and it has the water that goes through it. Like kind of like a tile saw.
Okay.
That you need to do. And this, was just doing a lamp and cutting each, piece out. But it shows also that, the versatility of it with glass. You can use things that are very functional, or you can do totally the art form. And all the glass we use is not lead based, and so you can eat off of it and things like that too, if you do the dishes and things.
I've noticed that those fused glass dishes are really popular now.
It's really fun because it's individual. And this is my favorite part of the classes that we do. And We've done from ages 3 clear up to 84.
Oh my gosh, 3-year-olds?
3-year-olds, yeah.
You're kidding me.
And the kids, you know, since there's not as much art in school now, the children love it, and they're not afraid of it. You know, they just get in and they create wonderful things. And
with saws and flames.
Yeah, see, and we keep all that away.
Oh, okay.
We end up cutting pieces that are pre-cut and things.
Okay, and they
so
play
the
with
children
them.
just use those and the Fritz and things. Yeah, we're
Okay.
very conscientious of that. They don't get to be by the tools. But they love to see what a kiln is.
Sure.
And this is a project
Oh,
we're
how
doing
fun.
over with Linfield right now. And these are all tiles that the students did. And so they will come and do a 6-inch tile, and we'll spread it out along the borders. But it is really fun, and it is just wonderful to see how creative the children, what they come up with the glass. Even if they just throw something on, it's beautiful. I mean, it just turns out really fun. But
No, when you say Linfield, you mean the Linfield Preschool?
Preschool.
Oh, okay, that's great.
yes, yeah.
And where is that?
It is over off of 4th Street. It's the big building. It's right behind the playground. This is the door that enters into the preschool.
Oh, and that's where you're putting the glass. Okay,
Yes.
great. Wow.
Yeah, and Gil's helping us with that. Gil Reynolds
Okay.
is helping. And this is just another piece of showing the different pieces
how
that
fun.
what you can do with cutting the glass. And that was done all with just cutting it with the tools and then, you know, grinding it to shapes. Down with
That's
it.
pretty.
And then just another, it's fun to come in and have a picture that a lot of the people that I teach will ask them to bring an image of something they like.
Okay, something they
You
want
know,
to work toward.
Yeah, just bring in an image and you can look and see, you know, what to do with it. And then like our beginning class that we offer is mostly so you understand what glass does.
Okay.
You know, because I will once in a while have someone come in with something and they want to do a portrait of their grandmother
Oh
or
my gosh.
something really intricate. And
Yeah.
I said, you know, if you were doing a painting class, you have to start at the very beginning. And once you understand what the glass will do, then it's so exciting. I have a couple women that have been coming in for over a year, and they, from beginning of that, now know what the glass will do, and they come up with the most amazing projects. And one has done most of her work. She has an Etsy site, and she has done a cat's is her theme, and now she does them in glass. And
cool. Okay.
so it's really, really cool to watch
Yeah.
what people, once they understand how it just stretches their imagination.
Sure.
And what else they will do with it.
And now for you, do you do a lot to sell, or do you mostly do commission pieces, or how does that work?
I've done both. A lot of what I do, I have some that I sell down at the Eagle's Nest. With,
Okay.
You know, he's a friend. And then we've done some pieces together that he's done the woodworking in, and then I've done the
Oh,
background
okay.
in, or
Sure.
done eyes for him or something like that. But I still find I don't know my exact place. You know, some artists, glass artists, if you go and look at them, know exactly what their field of it. And I find I just like the teaching, I think, the most. I really enjoy when someone comes in, and it seems like a lot of women are drawn in, you know, and you know, being older too, when I started doing this, that they come in and it kind of opens something up, that they can see they can do something really beautiful, and that it just is kind of, like I say, kind of a healing to me. And I have some gentlemen that come in now, and even there, and to watch the difference in how, but glass is a medium that a lot of men enjoy, because I think the heat and the cutting, and you know, that can be very precision too. So it is.
That's great. So now, are most of your things like that, like they're flat? Or do you do things that are like a bowl or that
you
sort
can
of
do
thing?
both. When you
Okay.
start, you will start with a flat piece, and then
Right.
we have slumps that you slump it into. And so with glass, you either slump it into like a bowl or you drape it, because you
Oh,
can't
right.
like make a glass like some people go, oh, could I do it? And because the glass will fall in.
I'm thinking of, like, you know, when you make the cookie cup, and how you put the dough over the outside of the muffin pan,
Yes.
right? And so you can do that same thing with
You
the warm
can and
glass,
make some fun little
like
cups.
a little holder or something. Okay.
That come out, or you can slump it into something. And you know, so it's really fun to see the different ways that you can do glass. And some artists, you can just take any stainless steel you can use, and as long as you spray it with the release, so you could just put a lot of things, put a sheet of glass over it and make something really funky. And some artists do that a lot.
So that's where I've seen like a wall sconce that's sort of a half.
Yes,
half round.
Yeah, first you make it in the flat form, and then you use your form to slump it over.
Okay.
And night lights, that's when the children love to do night. And then we do the same thing with just a small sconce that we do that with.
Now, the picture that we saw of the stuff that the Linfield Preschool did, can they accomplish that in one
Oh,
class?
yes.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, we've been taking it seems they feel more comfortable in their environment, you know, where they're at the school. So we just pack up a bunch of our things and take it over there, and they've scheduled, and so they can do it with less than an hour.
Well, and also too, it'd be hard probably to get that many kids in your studio as well.
Yeah, so we try to simplify it for them too and make it a little more simple.
So the classes that you teach, then are they typically, it's, you know, like a one-time thing that somebody would come in just sort of to see what it is about, see if they like it, see if it's great, and if they love it, then they sign up for a series of workshops? Or
Yeah, or they just, a lot of it's individualized. When we first opened, we did it more of saying, oh, well, you know, following others' patterns, you know, of what to do, and just found it's more fun for, you know, to, after they've had the beginning class, to just let them see what they want to do, you know, and guidance there, you know, of different things. But that seems to me to be the best way, you know, for me, you know, personally, how I've liked doing it.
And then for yourself, the work that you have that you do you sell it all from that shop?
Yeah, and online also.
Okay.
We have, through Facebook, you can find us.
Okay.
And then we do have a website.
Okay.
You know.
So, and that would be Infused with Love?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people can find you
that
way.
And then I have friends that know I do it, you know, so I've, you know, done that type of, and then commissioned a few pieces. And like I say, I've been doing it about 5 years now.
But I mean, it sounds like you really grounded yourself well by studying with a lot of people that are definitely prominent in the field.
And that is what I have found is with it, the sky's the limit a lot, and your imagination is. And there are artists that you see their work and you're just in awe, you know, that you can take this medium and you can get to that point of doing something so amazing with it. And it all starts from the basic same thing, you know, but it's learning to understand what the glass, because the alchemy with it is really cool, which I know I looked it up after I was telling the students about, because we go to the schools and we've done magnets with the grade schools.
Okay.
And the kids love it. A 5th grade class, a lot of times is hard to get a focus a lot of times, and these students love it. And they get so excited. So we have done that the last 2 years, going before Mother's Day.
Oh, how fun.
At some of the schools, and have done that.
Well, I'm thinking like with magnets, so you could take even a photograph and do the glass over it, or you can do an image, right? Either way.
Yeah, there's a actual paper that you can take a photograph and then you can melt it onto the glass, and so it's beautiful. That's what I'm saying. Once you get going, there are so many different layers of what you can do with the glass.
So there's a lot of way to do grandma.
Yes, there are a lot of ways to do grandma, and it is just like I said. Yeah, it's just a fun medium to work with. You know?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and also the shop. I have 2 ladies that call it their sanctuary. They go, we come in for sanctuary, just to have a place that's calming and to be able to create.
There's tea.
Yeah, we did a wine night, but then we thought, wine and glass. I don't know.
Wine and glass. I don't know. Well, Lynette, thank you very much for coming
you're
today. It's
welcome.
been wonderful to meet you, obviously, and find out about what you do. So, hopefully you'll come back and see us again.
That would be nice.
Thank
you.